Good morning, my dear students. Today, in history, we are going to continue the same chapter, that is, the rise of nationalism in Europe. Children, today we are going to study about the hunger, hardship, and popular revolt and the revolution of liberals in 1848. Children, let's start with our today's topic, that is hunger, hardship, and popular revolt. We will see why the 1830s called the year of great economic hardship in Europe. Children, the decade of 1830 had brought great economic hardship in Europe. Let's see what were the reasons behind this. The first half of the 19th century saw an enormous increase in population all over the Europe. That means population explosion in Europe. Then in most countries there were more seekers of job than employment. Children, this is very obvious. If the population is increasing with very high pace, it is very difficult for the people to get the employment. Because of it, in most of the countries of Europe, there were more seekers of job than employment. In most of the European countries, the supply of workers exceeded the demand. The unemployed rural people migrated from villages to cities for earning bread. This worsened the living condition in town and they were forced to live in overcrowded slums. Small producers in town were often faced with the stiff competitions from import of cheap machine-made goods from England, where industrialization was more advanced than on the continent. Cheap machine-made goods from England made it impossible for the small producers to compete. This was especially so in the textile industries, which was carried out mainly in home or small workshops and was only partly mechanized. That means those who were working in a small scale with the help of manual labor, it was difficult for them to compete with the goods which are made in industries. In those regions of Europe where the aristocracy still enjoyed power, peasants struggled under the burden of feudal dues and obligations. The rise of food price or a year of bad harvest led a widespread pauperism in town or country. The year 1848 was one such year. Food shortage and widespread unemployment brought the population of Paris out on the roads. Barricades were erected and Louis Philippe was forced to flee. National Assembly proclaimed a republic, granted suffrage to all the adult male above 21 and guaranteed the right to work. National workshops to provide employment were set up. Earlier in 1845, weavers in Silesia had led a revolt against contractors who supplied them raw material and gave them order for finished textile but drastically reduced their payments. Now, the revolt led by the Silesian weavers against contractor in 1845. Children, in 1845, weavers in Silesia had led a revolt against contractors who supplied them raw material and gave them orders for finished textile. Then why did they revolt, children? Because the contractors had drastically reduced their payments. The generalist Wilhelm Wolff described the events in a Cilician village as follow. On 4th June at 2 p.m., a large crowd of weavers emerged from their homes and marched in pairs up to the mansion of their contractors demanding higher wages. When the contractors showed reluctance, a group of them forced their way into the house, smashed its elegant window panes, furniture, porcelain, etc. Another group broke into the storehouse and plundered it of supplies of cloth which they tore to shreds. The contractors fled with his family to a neighboring village, which, however, refused to shelter such a person. He returned 24 hours later, having requested the army. In the exchange that followed, 11 weavers were shot. Now, children, the revolution of the liberals in 1848. Parallel to the revolts of the poor, unemployed, and starving peasants, the workers in many European countries in the year 1848, a revolution led by educated middle class was underway. Events of February 1848 in France had brought about the abdication of monarch and a republic based on universal male suffrage had been proclaimed. In other parts of Europe where independent nation state did not yet exist, such as Germany, Italy, Poland, Austria-Hungarian Empire, men and women of the liberal middle classes combined their demands for the constitutionalism with the national unification. Liberals took advantage of growing popular unrest to push their demand for the creation of nation state on parliamentary principles. Means there should be a constitution, freedom of press, and the freedom of associations. In the German region, a large number of political associations whose members were middle class professionals, businessmen, and prosperous artisans came together in the city of Frankfurt and decided to vote for an all German National Assembly. Children, Frankfurt Parliament was the name of the German National Assembly founded during the Revolution of 1848 that tried to unite Germany in a democratic way. On 18 May 1848, 831 elected representatives marched in a festive procession to take their place in the Frankfurt Parliament convened in the Church of St. Paul. They drafted a constitution for a German nation to be headed by monarchy subject to a parliament. When the deputies offered the crown on these terms to Frederick Wilhelm IV, King of Prussia, he rejected and joined other monarchs to oppose the elected assembly. While the opposition of the aristocracy and military became stronger, the social basis of parliament eroded. Children, the parliament was dominated by the middle classes who resisted the demands of workers and artisans and consequently lost their support. In the end, troops were called in and the assembly was forced to disband. The issue of extending political rights to women was a controversial one within the liberal movement, in which the large number of women had participated actively over the years. Women had formed their own political associations, founded newspapers, and taken part in political meetings and demonstrations. Despite this, they were denied the voting rights. Children, when the Frankfurt Parliament convened in the Church of St. Paul, women were admitted only as the observers to stand in the visitors' gallery. Though conservative forces were able to suppress liberal movements in 1848, they could not restore the old order. Monarchs were beginning to realize that the cycle of revolution and repression could only be ended by granting concession to the liberal nationalist revolutionaries. Hence, in the years after 1848, the autocratic monarchies of Central and the Eastern Europe began to introduce the changes that had already taken place in Western Europe before 1815. Thus, serfdom and bonded labor were abolished both in the Habsburg dominion and Russia. The Habsburg ruler granted more autonomy to the Hungarians in 1867. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.